Hi, boys and girls. Today, I want to read you two stories, but I'm going to start with this one, The Three Little Pigs. Now, this story is one that most people have heard since they were your age or younger. The Three Little Pigs and what happened, okay? But it's told from the viewpoint of the Three Little Pigs. That means it's their story. It's their idea of what happened. So, or somebody is telling what happened to the Three Little Pigs. Okay? And we're gonna hear about another story that is the wolf's version. But right now, we're going to listen to the Three Little Pigs. This story is retold by Bonnie Dobkin, and it's illustrated by Subhash Bajaj. Once upon a time, three little piglets lived in a small, cozy home with their mother. Their names were Porter, Perry, and Parker. Porter was a relaxed sort of pig. He liked to play and eat and sleep. Perry was a creative type of pig. He had lots of ideas, but he didn't always finish what he started. And Parker was a thoughtful little pig who worked hard and did everything just the way he was supposed to. This kind of annoyed his two brothers. Well, the three little piglets got older and bigger and rounder. One day, their mother made a decision. A decision means she decided that there's something that had to be done. You've grown too big for this little house, the mother said. It's time for you all to go off into the wide, wide world and build homes of your own. So the three pigs packed their bags and got ready to leave their too cozy home. That means it was small, but they were growing and they were getting bigger. Any advice for us, Mother? Asked Parker. Why, yes, said their mother. Watch out for that no good, big bad wolf who's always sulking around. Now, why would the mother say, watch out for the wolf? Because the wolf would be very, very happy to eat a pig. And she has three piglet sons. And remember, always work hard. Remember to plan. And whatever you do, be the best that you can. The three pigs kissed their mother goodbye. Then they trotted out of the house, down the road, and out of the village. Before they had gone very far, they came to a big field full of golden haystacks. You know, said Porter quickly, I think I'll build my house of straw. It's a nice color, and the house will be easy to build. I'm not sure this is a good plan, said Parker. Will it be warm enough? Will it keep out the rain? What will happen when the wind is strong? Porter rolled his eyes. It will be a great house, he said, and I'll still have time to play when I'm done. Then good luck to you, said Perry and Parker, and they continued down the road. Soon Parker and Perry came to a shady grove of trees. You know, said Perry, I think I'll build my house of logs. Logs are strong, and I can paint them different colors. That sounds like a good plan, said Parker, if you finish what you start. I will, said Perry, and he waved as Parker continued down the road. Perry stood and looked up at the trees. He said, cutting down those trees would take a very long time. I'll just build my house from the sticks on the ground instead. And that's exactly what he did. Further down the road, Parker was busily planning his house. He brought bricks and stone and mortar for the walls. He bought strong oak planks for the doors. He worked on the house for days and days, but when he was done, he felt happy. Mother would be proud, he said. I worked hard and I made my house the very best it could be. Look at his nice house, boys and girls. Now, what none of the pigs realized was that someone very bad knew they had left their mother's house. And who do you think that someone was? Yes, it was the no good, big bad wolf. There's his picture. First, the wolf went to Porter's house. He saw bundles of hay held together by rope, and he saw Porter Pig outside, napping in the sun. Hello, Pig, said the wolf. There's Porter napping, and there's the straw house. Porter opened his eyes, squealed, and jumped to his feet. He ran into his house, pushed the door shut, and hid under his bed. Now, said the wolf, I only want to have a chat. Ha, said Porter, I know a hungry wolf when I see one. It really doesn't matter, said the wolf. Little pig, let me come in. Are you kidding, said Porter? Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. The wolf stepped back. Then he huffed and he puffed and he blew with all his might. The straw house flew apart. The wolf pounced, the pig bounced, but Porter squealed and ran. Said the wolf. Unfortunate. That means he thinks it wasn't good. The next day, the wolf decided to try again. He strolled down the road until he saw a flimsy house made of sticks and twigs. Perry was lying in a hammock outside. Hello, my little piggy, said the wolf. Perry jumped up in fright. He ran inside his shaky house and pushed a dresser against the door. Ah, said the wolf. Does he really think that's going to help? He cleared his throat. Little pig, let me come in. No way, said Perry, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. The wolf stepped back. He took 2 huffs and he took 2 puffs, and then he blew with all his might. Sticks and twigs swirled in the air. The wolf pounced, the pig bounced, but Perry squealed and ran. This just won't do, said the wolf. But the wolf knew there was still one more brother to visit. He strolled down the road until he saw a house made of stone and brick. Parker was digging in a garden outside. Hello, friend pig, said the wolf. Don't you friend pig me, said Parker. Leave me now, or you will be sorry. I doubt it, said the wolf. Parker went inside and slammed the door. The wolf heard 3 locks locking, and 4 shutters slamming. He stood back. Little pig, let me come in. not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. Go ahead and try, said Porter. The wolf huffed 3 times. He puffed 3 times. And then he blew with all his might. Nothing happened. That's a surprise, said the wolf. Now he huffed 4 times. And he puffed 4 times. And then he blew again with all his might. Still nothing. The wolf tried again, and again, and even again. This is not going at all the way I expected, he said. Finally, the wolf fell flat on his back, puffing and wheezing. He heard the shutter creak open. I knew my house would stand up to that no-good wolf, said Parker. I'm just glad he didn't think about coming down the chimney. The shutter slammed shut. The chimney, whispered the wolf, springing to his feet. Of course, that's what I should do. He sneaked to the side of the house and saw a pile of boxes stacked against the wall. Oh, this makes it even easier, he chuckled. He climbed up the boxes. He crept across the roof. Then he jumped into the opening and slid down the chimney from the roof. But below, water bubbled in a big black kettle that was hanging in the fireplace. Parker threw more wood onto the roaring fire. Here I come, little pig, said the wolf. You weren't too clever after all, were you? Oh no, said Parker. Oh no. The wolf landed in the kettle with a loud kerplunk. Water steamed and boiled around him. The wolf howled and shot right back up the chimney. You see, the pig Parker is eating his dinner while the wolf boils in the pot. The water had boiled off half of the wolf's fur. Oh no, cried the wolf. He was so embarrassed that he left the country, never to be seen again. Porter and Perry moved in with their brother, and they lived happily ever after. So Porter and Perry came with their brother because this was the brother who built the strongest house. So they moved in with him. The 3 little pigs. Think about this, boys and girls. What comes between a hungry wolf and the tasty meal he so desperately desires? A clever and resourceful pig with a plan. Find out how the wolf gets foiled in this tale of huffing, puffing, and putting up a good fight. The wolf would have loved to have had even one of these nice, fat little porky pigs, but he didn't get the chance. This is the story of the 3 little pigs. It's their story. Now I'm going to read you another story, and it is the wolf story. So, I'm going to switch books. This is the story, the true story of the 3 little pigs by A. Wolf. So this is the wolf's version of that story. So listen, it's a totally different story when the wolf is telling it. Here's the wolf. Everybody knows the story of the 3 little pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody ever heard my side of the story. A. Wolf. I'm the wolf. I'm Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheeps and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story by A. Wolf. Way back in the once upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, the house fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in?" There was no answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed. And I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. It was the pig. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? Are you in?" He yelled back, "Go away, wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin." I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed, and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down, just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in?" And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me even one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig! I just was about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, "And your old granny can sit on a pin." Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. Well, the rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the two pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all of that huff and puff and blow your house down, and they made me the big bad wolf, as if I ate those pigs on purpose. That's it, the real story. I was framed. But maybe, just maybe, you could loan me a cup of sugar. By A. Wolf. Alexander T. Wolf. So this is the wolf's version of the story, that he's not a bad wolf. They were already dead when he came in, the two pigs. And so he didn't like the way the third pig talked about his granny. So this is his story as told to John Scieszka. He is the author and illustrated by Lane Smith. So this is the wolf's version. What I liked about this is it tells another way of looking at the three little pigs, because we always only hear about the three little pigs. So the wolf now is telling his side of the story. I hope you enjoyed it, boys and girls. Good to see you. This is Miss Island. Take care.